number 23 to the quick slices. uh, Dave can't decide between two women, so he doesn't. Love is blind. So let's let's go.
Yes, I'm pumped to talk this.
My closest girlfriends, we're all 30.
Yeah, you're getting old, so like let's crank this thing up a notch. I'm kidding.
I am like ready in a way, but
Disgusting.
I know it's hard to.
I'm kidding.
I want to run a house with someone who can like.
Bro, the
Welcome back to Love is
edits.
Blind, the show where people talk to each other
The
through a wall
edits
for 10
that
days,
the quick
then they
slice
meet in
does.
person and argue for 10
They are
days,
very
and then
fun.
they get divorced. This has been going on for 8 seasons. Lauren and Dave are no different. Their relationship is that of complete strangers because they're complete strangers, but it's okay because he has a charming personality or something. I don't know. That's what they're saying on the show. Am I supposed to believe that? All he's done is make fun of her for being old like 3 times. All I can think is she fell in love with him based on the fact that he's on the other side of the wall. It's just, if it were somebody else, it would have been that person. I know she's talked to other people, but if Dave was the best of the bunch, what am I supposed to think? This guy sure as hell didn't do anything. He has his own image. I don't even know if he's in the season. Why does this image exist? There's an article introducing the cast at the beginning
Bruh,
of the season, and there's like
his
a
neck looks like a penis. His neck looks like a thick penis. Like it literally does.
little paragraph for this guy. I think it's hilarious when they clearly plan on some people being around in the season because they introduce a lot of them, and then as it goes on, the editors are probably like, what am I gonna do with this? But seriously, how bad was this guy's pod sessions? What did he do in there? Did he just walk in and start making sounds? Just making sound effects and noise. I'm surprised that didn't win them over. Someone should speed run this show. They could be like, listen, I'm vulnerable, I like to travel, and I'm ready to get married and have kids. What was that, like 3 seconds? Listen, I'm just a vulnerable little traveler, and I'm very passionate about the things that I'm passionate about. I like to be a
After
good
reading
partner.
what he
That's
has
one thing I'm
done,
passionate. I like passion fruit. What's my favorite board game? The game of life. Because when I play it, I always choose to be passionate and vulnerable and have a family with children and kids.
Just be you, Lauren, because you are literally, I say it all the time now, but you are amazing.
You are too.
This is what it is. I'm not gonna think you're like being a bitch or like being drama queen over there or anything.
why?
Okay, so Lauren has just told Dave that she thinks some of the other women are treating her differently now. This happens frequently because two people will figure out through context clues that they're talking to the same person and things get really awkward. Dave has this way of speaking and making jokes where he says things that subtly reveal how he really thinks. I don't believe it's a joke when he comments about her age. I'm pretty sure that's how he actually feels, but he's just pretending it's a joke. And similarly, the way that he says, well, it is what it is, I'm not gonna think you're a
No, but you are not that young either. What are you like talking about other people's age? Like especially women. Like you already know they don't like when men talk about their age, and you're straight up like insulting her but hiding it behind humor.
drama queen or a bitch for that. It kind of just makes it seem like he does think that. Or at the very least, that those words are a part of his vocabulary and he would think that about somebody in a similar situation.
I want you to be able to tackle everything with the kids that I'm able to tackle.
Gosh, same.
If you had to pick a chore, pick laundry or dishes.
Dishes.
Amazing. We're like a match.
Oh my god.
Holy shit, okay, let's move on. So, anyway, Dave is like, oh my god, I love you and I can see myself doing dishes alongside you for the next 10 to 12 days or so. Dave, I've always wanted to be with a man who likes to do the dishes and make fun of me for being old. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
man,
Let's
this
just get
is
married
why.
tomorrow. Screw it.
This is why, like, maybe they do have deep conversations. It's just that when you meet a person, like, in person, when you're there, like, you can get into certain details there. You can say that they are in like a pods, like very close to each other, but there is something like meeting in person. Like you can have all like important meetings on like Skype and everything, but there is some reason where you meet in person. There is a level of intimacy in conversation that you only get when you're in like physical touch or like physically close with each other, and I think that's what is missing from there.
This isn't real
Because you can talk all that, but there is some kind of connection when happens and you're like physically close to each other and talking to each other.
life. You just got that X factor, you know? It's like you're kind of a douche, but also I need to get to know you more to confirm that. There aren't a lot of options here, Dave, okay? I've talked to 40 different men. They all had the same 5 favorite hobbies down to the number. And it's not like I'm being dramatic. It's not, oh, Lauren is exaggerating here. No, I'm being dead serious. I don't know if they talk to each other. I'm quite frankly convinced there's a glitch in the Matrix at this point.
I could see myself proposing to you.
Please just do it then, because I can't watch this.
Jesus. I haven't been in love in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
don't
remember
really
watching
know what
this.
that feels like.
Yeah.
I'm this like completely different person.
You know how in Charlie Brown, all the adults were like, womp, 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 womp? I wish these people were as intelligible as that. So Dave says that he hasn't been in love in a long time and that he's not sure what being in love should feel like anymore. But if you're saying that, then you probably
Wow.
aren't in love. It's one thing to have a connection. Like, okay, sure, fine. I believe that some of these people have a connection. I'll suspend my disbelief for a moment here. But it seems so often that so many of them are in love simply because they're restricted to a timeline for the show where they have to propose in a certain amount.
Yeah, I mean, like circumstances do make like people fall in love. Like if you're in a house, like a haunted house, and it's just you and the other person, eventually there will be some kind of connection that forms. It can be brotherly, it can be sisterly, it can be like family, it can be boyfriend girlfriend, and th- like this is where like my mind goes like, is this connection true, or is this connection only exist because of, you know, the the circumstances that they eventually found themselves in, like the confinement in spaces that they are. Like you can see it here, like they have a purpose, like they have to decide, like to choose one. So it's like in their mind they're going, maybe not, maybe subconsciously, that I have to choose someone. And if they find like someone who has even a little bit of common with between that, that maybe in real life you may have considered them as only friends or maybe like acquaintances, you go like into full turbo mode and go after them. So I have thought about this a lot. Like you see this happen in movies a lot, especially horror movies, or like, you know, like zombie shows. So it like makes you wonder a lot.
Time and they have to get married in a certain amount of time. They all refer to this as an experiment. Like, why are you experimenting with marriage? You're
Yeah.
experimenting with falling in love. It's just weird. Sometimes I forget that these are grown men.
That's why I have, you know, problem with arranged marriage. It's like you're just choosing a random person on a decision which is really like maybe the one of the most important decisions in your life. So I'm like, it doesn't make sense like logically to me.
Because they don't act like grown men or speak like grown men at all. And I bet they don't even use Manscaped, today's sponsor. I feel like I used to procrastinate more when it came to shipping. If you go to Manscaped,
Like meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't act like this in the real world
Yeah.
because I'm like afraid to show it or something.
alright, let's not get back to the video. What does he mean he doesn't act like this in the real world? Have the pods opened up some vulnerable side of Dave? And why is she just nodding along and agreeing with this like it makes sense? Half the time I don't even know what they're talking about. It's never enough for someone like Dave to just say, hey, we have a good connection and I think I might be falling in love with you. It always has to be, oh, I haven't been in love in so long, I'm
Yeah.
learning how to love again.
He does have to add something like dramatic in it to make it seem like what he's talking about means much more than what it actually means. So we can say that he's a player. Like he has been a player. Like he has said that he was an awful person before. So it kind of makes sense that he knows he knows how the game works. So of course he would do this shit.
Because of you, Lauren. Before I entered these pods, I was a completely different person. But in the last 3 days, I think I've really matured.
I'm like afraid to show it or something.
Are you excited or nervous to have your family see this
Oh
side
my
of you?
god.
Lauren, you did not just ask that. You're asking all the right questions. Oh my god. So I guess this pod version of Dave is like the new Dave, and he's excited to show his family the new version of Dave, and Lauren's like, what do you think they're gonna say about Pod Dave now that you're a changed man? I almost want to experience these pods for myself at this point. They all talk about it like it's some spiritual journey. They're going into
Yeah, the pod possesses them. You go into the pod, you become one with the pod. The pod starts controlling your body from the inside. You become, the pod versions of yourself.
a room, and they're talking to someone through a wall, then they're leaving and going into another room and hanging out with people until they wait to do it again the next day. That's all that's happening. That's it.
I feel very good
Good.
about it
Well, I don't.
because I feel so like strongly about you, and I kind of get the feeling it's mutual. Oh man.
This is horrible. I'm sure if you didn't let them out of the pods, they would just do this forever. They wouldn't even realize they've aged 20 years. It would just be like, I like you so much and I can't wait to get out of here maybe someday, but it's okay because we have such a good connection right now and I don't want this to change. Is this a future genre of person? Pod people? Can they just trap all of these people here? Can this be a way to trap all of the reality TV people?
Yeah,
You get
and
'em-
then you do like the Jim Carrey movie, like you just have them record their everyday lives, every fucking minute, every fucking hour, introduce like people that they think are like real but are actually like actors. Then you have like a Love is Blind like reality show going on for 24 hours live on Geo Hotstar.
here, you put them into the pods, and when they're talking to each other, you just lock the door. You don't say anything. They might not even notice, ever. Just keep giving them plates of food that looks bougie, feed them some wine, they'll be good.
It's
They'll be fine.
bougie.
Lauren. Lauren is making this process very confusing.
It's so annoying.
Huh?
Why does every guy fall back on this? They're like, I'm just confused. This whole process is so confusing. Do you mean you just like two people? Is that what you're trying to say? If you're 32 years old and you're this confused after this and you don't even know what it's like to be in love, maybe this
Yeah,
isn't
man, this is some teenage shit. This is some shit that people would expect people like me to do. And I'm like 10 years younger than you. Like, come on, man, you're 32. People have like kids by this age.
for you. I mean, this isn't for anyone, to be fair. I don't think anybody should be doing this, but so many people come on here and they're like, I'm afraid of commitment. It terrifies me. So I decided to come on a show where I have to commit to somebody in 10 days. So now
Yeah.
we're going to move on to when Dave is talking to Molly, who is his other love interest. She asks him how things are going with the guys, and he says that they're finally starting to talk names. She says that scares her a little bit, and she reveals to Dave that he's the only person she's talking to, which is probably a
Oh.
mistake to tell Dave that.
Ooh, that scares me.
Oh. Nah, man, you're giving a player like the biggest like brahmastra that he can have. Like he knows that you only talk to him, that he knows that you're his whenever he wants you to be. He can play with you like for like a fiddle. You ain't gonna party no more, girl. No more.
I shouldn't.
Well, it doesn't scare me actually because I'm not talking to anyone else. So
You're not? You did not tell me that.
yeah.
It makes me feel very, like, not in control, but like very confident.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, that
What
makes
does
me
that?
feel. I don't want
Ah,
to say.
he just directly said that to your face. That I'm maybe not in control, but I do feel confident because realistically, what if he proposes to you? You would say yes because you have talked to no one else. You're vulnerable as hell. You're old, so yeah, he has like a safety deposit option in you. I know that sounds crass, but that it is literally that.
control, but it makes me feel like I'm the king of the pods, if that makes sense. Some of those guys out there have gotten zero screen time, and I'm over here talking to two women in the pods. Even Dave was really surprised to hear that she wasn't talking to anyone else. He's
That's
like, really?
just stupid.
You're only talking to me? I was that
That's
interested?
actually
Okay.
stupid. You're on a show where it is designed that you talk to multiple people so that you have enough, data enough like experiences from where you can decide what is the best experience or who are you the most compatible with. As much as you can get, like talking between pods and not seeing each other. And you just talk to one guy, then just don't come on the show. It doesn't make sense and it makes you extra vulnerable where you already are because of your age, because of how you've not had an actual boyfriend before. So doing this is just stupid.
Okay. Well, maybe you and I can go on vacation, do some dishes, maybe hit up a buffet.
We aren't super emotional people about like all these like dramatic emotions that people are having. Like we just want to have fun together.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the
and
goal.
there's-
The goal is to marry. Of course, you have fun as an aspect, but if you just want to have fun, she has had fun before. Like she said, If you guys don't know, she said that she's never had a serious boyfriend. So you can do that, but the show is that in the end you marry. If you just want to have fun, just get out of the show and have fun. That is not the ultimate goal. That is like one of the goals in a marriage, but that's not the ultimate. The ultimate goal is that you settle down, you get serious in your life, you get married.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Dude, this guy just completely changed his tune depending on who he's talking to.
Yeah.
Earlier with Lauren, he was all in touch with his emotions and saying his family's gonna see this new side of him. He was
In a way, can you blame him? That is the way that the dating game is. You get to know a person, you get to know what are the positives, the negatives, and you kind of conform to that so that you get the best response. So I don't know what he's doing is wrong, because in a way this show is designed where you talk to multiple people, and even in real life, when if you are like going on a date with someone, if you kind of get to know their personality, you do kind of put yourself in that mold so that you get the best satisfactory response. So it's complicated. You can say he's manipulating, but at the same time, a show is kind of made to do that in some ways, and in real life dating also kind of works in that way too. Some of it at least, some aspects of it at least.
talking about how
Maybe in the start.
he hasn't been in love in a long time and she could be the one to change that. And now he's like, all these people and their dramatic emotions. Life should be just about having fun. Obviously, everyone deals with emotions differently, and some people are more compatible with others depending on how they deal with their emotions. But these two are acting like life can just be non-stop fun. That's not how it's ever gonna work.
Life should be fun and easy, I think.
Yep.
Exactly. It's just gonna be easy all the time. You're never
Then
gonna
why
have any
did you come on
problems.
this show?
Alright, what the hell was that? I just want to find a husband where we have fun together, you know? All these other women, they're way too serious. You're not going to like them. They don't know how to have fun. I only have fun. I'm never serious, not even right now.
I like when girls have their own interests and hobbies. You don't like just rely on me to provide entertainment all the time.
I like when girls have their own interests and hobbies and personalities, and they have like an independent mind, and
They are
think
not
for
from the
themselves.
1800s.
That's cool. Even though I'm an inherently entertaining person, I can't just provide you entertainment all the time. You know? So it's a good thing that you have dance and you have things that you do on your own.
Okay, that's why this experiment's so cool.
Mhm.
Because, like, we're all different,
Yeah.
and, like, they're all...
Promoting the show, like getting brownie points, so that please put me on the show more, or like let me stay there.
are a lot of guys in there that, like, and girls, I guess, they're looking for that.
For sure.
When you really start to think about what they actually say most of the time, you realize they're not saying anything. Let's break apart what he just said. This experiment is cool because everyone here is different and they're all looking for different things. That's just life. How is that? What does that have to do with this experiment, Dave?
Gosh, Molly. We are the friggin' same.
I know. It's actually kind of scary.
It is. We are literally the same.
So they did talk about
I
some
mean, their
actual important
faces
stuff
also
that I
are.
didn't include. They talked about their religious and political views, so it's not like this is all based on absolutely nothing. But at the same time, it's still very surface level so far, and everyone here is in the process of getting to know one another. So what often happens on this show and many similar shows is people's views and opinions are much more mild in the beginning because they're trying to be polite.
Sorry, this might be like TMI, but like
No, go for it.
my right testicle is like throbbing right
Oh
now.
no.
Yeah, that's TMI. That's definitely nobody needs to know that. We don't need to know that. She doesn't need to know that. Nick Lachey doesn't need to know that. This guy doesn't need to know that. So then they talk about wedding rings, and they both like gold. And once again, Dave is like, "Oh my God, we're literally the same." I'm not kidding. He does this again. And then he tells Molly that she has been his number one since the first day, and that even though he's seeing someone else, things are really starting to separate now.
I mean, I feel like I've gotten further along in this experiment than I ever have regular dating.
Same.
I've never really like felt like this before.
Alright, I'm not trying to put anyone down, but I mean, come on, dude. You're 32 years old. You haven't felt like this at all before. This is the furthest along you've ever gotten when it comes to dating. People on the show start to say
And
that
didn't he say that he had like an ex-girlfriend or something who cheated on him? So he has been that before. Like he has had like long relationships. I think he said that was like 2 years or something. So he's just lying then to get into her good books.
They've never felt this way before so quickly, and it becomes kind of a red flag, at least to anybody normal, I would guess. With Dave, it comes off as inauthentic, and it seems sort of like love bombing to me, like he's just telling her this because he wants her to think that she's extra special. So next, Dave was supposed to go break it off with Lauren because he told Molly that he was going to commit to her, but Dave has other plans.
Your other girlfriend, Molly, came into the lounge and, like, very proudly talked about how you told her that she was your number one connection here. Number one, did you
Busted!
say that? And number two, if that's how you feel, then I don't need to be here.
So yeah, Dave kind of gets called out here and gets caught in a bit of a predicament, but instead of acknowledging it or answering her question, he just says that he doesn't want to get caught up in all the girl drama. The fact that he doesn't understand that he caused this drama, like it's not just girl drama. He's saying two different things
Man,
to two
that's-
different people, so of course
that's-
they're gonna be like, what the hell? But if it
That's a pretty outlandish stuff to say where you have done like literal like fuckboy shit. Saying that that's just girly drama, like you should like you deserve a slap for that. And I am a guy who believes that be it a man or a woman, they cannot like hit you, like be it any reason. If they hit you, you have every right to hit them back. But man, this I just that made me so angry when he said that. Like, what the fuck, man? You get caught, and this is your response? Like, you should get beaten up for that.
it's true that Molly is his number one and has been since he got here, then he should just break up with Lauren. Like, what's
Yeah.
the problem? What's the big deal?
You're just
Honestly, I
stringing
don't
her
know
along
if
then for
Molly
no
knows
reason.
that it's me that is also talking to you.
This is what I didn't want to happen, is like get caught up in like the girl drama.
I don't think it's girl drama.
Yeah,
You need to just figure out what you want.
But Lauren, you heard him earlier, he's confused.
yeah, she is very respectful. Like, if there was any other woman, like, they would have thrown a tantrum, and rightfully so, abused him also verbally, and rightfully so, and she should probably, like throw in some galis as well.
You made him all confused. You want to know why he's confused? Because he doesn't know what they look like. That's as simple as that. Honestly, maybe Dave isn't even being malicious. Maybe he's just genuinely forgetting who he's talking to half the time because they can't see each other and all of them are virtually the same anyway. You know what would be hilarious? If after a few days they just swapped out whoever Dave was talking to and just pretended that this was the same person even though she had a different voice and had different opinions and different everything else, and see if he even noticed.
If you were my number one on day one,
I wish we would have like talked about this before right now.
What do you mean?
What?
You did. That's all you ever talked about was who your number one is and
What
who
the
you have a
fuck
connection
does
with
that
and how
even
much you want to
mean?
meet this person. That's all you guys ever talked about, and now he's like, oh, I wish we talked about this before now. Now that I'm deciding to break up with you, I wish we talked about the same thing we talked about for the last 5 days again. If he went in there to break up with her, this doesn't make any sense because nothing she said should have changed his mind at all. He's acting like, oh man, if I knew this before, if you knew what? She said that you're her number one now? That's what you guys were saying to each other already. Anyway, I think I have to end it here because my brain is in a severe amount of pain.
Yeah,
But
so that was my reaction to the Quick Slices video. What did you think about his video? And what did you think about my video? If you like this type of content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media accounts links, which are my X/Twitter link, and my Instagram links are in the description below. So go follow me on that. My UPI ID, which is shabboy@, okay, CICI is in the description also. So go donate any amount of money which you can, which can help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for right now. I will, be up to the TNA Impact review also in a few hours, or maybe in the evening. But that was it for me for right now. So thank you. Goodbye. Alvida.